The tea harvest is something that comes a few times a year, and it can actually determine the quality of a tea in many cases. The quality of a tea is not just determined by how the tea is grown and processed, but also how it's picked. In this video, we're going to learn a little bit about the tea harvest and how different types of harvests can yield different types of teas. If you're producing premium quality Japanese green tea, it has to come from the first harvest. The tea plant is harvested up to 4 times from April all the way to November, and the quality declines with each harvest. After the last tea harvest in November, the tea plant has all winter to build up nutrients and releases those nutrients in the first sprouts of the springtime. These fresh spring leaves are the most flavorful, and therefore they command the highest price. Tea picked during the first harvest is called shincha, and it's one of the highest regarded teas in Japan. Serious tea drinkers will wait around all year to be among the first to purchase the new shincha harvest in springtime. This practice used to be more common decades ago, but now with the widespread use of refrigeration, the tea can be kept fresh all throughout the year. Shincha tea, like the shincha from Mr. Naruki, can be quite flavorful, with a light, sweet, and savory flavor. After the tea is harvested for the first time in early spring, it can then be harvested a second time in June or July. Tea from the second harvest is the second highest in nutrients and flavor, so it's often used for more inexpensive teas. Farmers may also combine leaves from the first and second harvest to lower the price of the tea while still providing plenty of flavor. During the summer, the temperatures in Japan can get quite hot, so it's a lot of work to harvest during this time. The tea plant can be harvested a third time in late summer, but this is really more common in southern Japan. The third harvest of the plant will produce very low quality tea that is lower in nutrients. The tea plant needs sufficient time to pull nutrients from the soil, and when it's harvested in such a short amount of time, it's unable to produce as strong of a flavor. In mid-October or mid-November, some tea plants will be harvested for a fourth and final time. This is known to some as akibancha, or fall harvest. Some farmers choose to sell this tea to customers, but farmers like Mr. Watanabe in Yakushima have a different plan for the leaves. He harvests the leaves in fall and then actually uses them as a fertilizer for the plant. His thought behind this is that the tea plant has absorbed nutrients from the soil all year round, so now it must return some at the end of the year. Once fall comes around in Japan, it becomes especially important for farmers to fertilize their tea crop. The soil must be set up for the long winter ahead so the tea plant can rest and absorb nutrients ahead of the spring harvest. A lot of farmers will use a type of straw on the base of the tea plants. This serves a few important purposes. First, it allows the tea plant to retain moisture by locking in water. It also fertilizes the tea plant and keeps the roots warm during the winter. After a long winter, the sprouts of the tea plant will begin to come up in the spring, and soon they will be able to be harvested. The most common way to harvest the tea plant in Japan is with this motorized tea harvesting machine. This is the most efficient way to harvest the tea, and it's one of the reasons why the tea plant is organized in these neat rows. The harvester will trim these like hedges, and over time they will develop a neatly carved shape. Occasionally, tea like matcha and gyokuro will be made from hand-picked leaves. These teas are extremely expensive in Japan, but the benefit is that the leaves are picked perfectly. On one day out of the year, people from all around the town will gather on this field to pick fresh sprouts of the tea plant.
So we're here at the hand picking now in the middle of the fields. So I just explain you, we have been hand picking for just a while. This happens once a year, only one day a year they do it. We have here 70 people doing the hand picking, and what is important is really that you have here the 3 leaves. So you have the shin, which is actually the heart, and then you have the ichiome, which is the second leaf, this is this one, and the niome. And 5 millimeters below you have to pop it up a little bit and then take it away. It's very easy to do. You have the 3 leaves, and these are then the ones which are used for the green tea.
If a farmer wants to produce a more inexpensive tea like bancha, they will select leaves lower down on the tea plant, along with some stems as well.
So for the bancha actually, he uses much more. So just here, for example, here we have the top of the plant for his highest grade tea. So this is really the upper part. If he does bancha, so which is coming from the second or third harvest, it's actually this part of the plant down until here, which is used. So he uses as well the stem, as he explained us for the bancha, and sometimes even you see that the leaves are much thicker. Here it's very fine, and here you have thicker leaves, which are then used also for the bancha. So bancha is actually a rougher tea, not as highly selected as the normal tea or as his high-grade teas. And here you also use the thicker and less high quality leaves.
As you can see, the harvest can be an important factor in determining how prized a tea is. Depending on when it's picked, how it's picked, and where on the tea plant it's picked, the tea can be in a completely different category. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next time.